Keanu Reeves is known as one of the kindest legends Hollywood has ever seen. A man who gave the world heroes like Neo and John Wick and showed millions what quiet strength looks like. But behind that calm face lives a story filled with loss, silence, and wounds that time never healed. At 61, his life is not just about fame or success. It is about the pain he carried when no one was watching. A child who lost his family, a lover who lost everything he dreamed of, and a man who kept standing when life tried to break him again and again. What makes his journey so heartbreaking is not only what he lost, but how he chose to live with it. There is a truth about Keanu Reeves that few people fully understand, and it changes the way we see him forever. Stay with us, because what you are about to hear reveals the hidden tragedy behind a living legend. A quiet life, built from pain and light. Today, Keanu Reeves lives a life that feels very different from most Hollywood stars. He does not chase luxury. He does not surround himself with noise or show off his success. Instead, he walks quietly through the world, carrying a heart shaped by loss and understanding. People often see him riding the subway, eating alone, or standing in simple clothes like an ordinary man. But behind that calm image lives a soul that has traveled through deep pain and heavy silence. His kindness did not come from fame, it came from grief. Keanu once said, "Grief changes shape, but it never ends." These words explain his present life more than any award or movie ever could. The losses he faced did not disappear with time. They stayed inside him like invisible scars. Every memory of love, family, and dreams he once had become part of who he is today. Instead of letting those wounds harden his heart, they softened it. When fans meet him, they often describe him as gentle and respectful. He listens more than he speaks. He looks people in the eyes. He treats strangers with the same care he gives to friends. Many do not realize that this kindness grew from pain. Tragedy taught him how fragile life is. It showed him that everyone carries something heavy inside. That is why he chooses compassion over pride. Keanu gives quietly. He donates money without telling the world. He supports hospitals and cancer research because of his sister's long fight with illness. He shares his success with the crew behind the camera, not just the stars in front of it. These actions are not for attention. They come from a deep place in his soul that understands suffering. Even now, his life remains simple. He avoids loud parties and flashy homes. He prefers calm spaces where he can think and breathe. Some people mistake this for loneliness, but it is something deeper. It is a man learning how to live with memories that never fully fade. His silence is not empty. It is full of meaning. When the world calls him the kindest man in Hollywood, they often see only the surface. They do not see the long road of heartbreak that shaped him. They do not see the nights he spent grieving what he lost. They do not see the battles inside his mind. His kindness is not random. It was built from tragedy, step by step. Yet his story is not only about sadness. It is about strength. It is about choosing goodness when life gives you reasons to turn cold. Keanu did not let grief destroy his soul. He let it teach him how to love again, slowly and carefully. Every smile he gives now carries history. Every quiet moment shows survival. At this stage of his life, Keanu Reeves is more than an actor. He is a symbol of endurance, a man who walked through darkness and still chose light. His present life shows that pain can change a person, but it does not have to break them. It can create depth. It can create wisdom. It can create a heart that understands others. His journey reminds us that behind every gentle soul is a story of struggle. And behind his silence is a powerful truth. Tragedy shaped him, but it did not take away his humanity. Instead, it made him one of the most inspiring figures in Hollywood today. Family tragedy and physical suffering. While carrying the heavy weight of emotional pain, Keanu Reeves also faced tragedy within his own family. His sister, Kim, battled leukemia for years, a fight that demanded not only courage, but also endless support. Keanu stood by her side through every hospital visit, every painful procedure, and every moment of uncertainty. He spent millions on her treatment, not as a show of wealth, but as a deep expression of love. Watching someone you care about suffer slowly is a pain that leaves invisible marks on the soul. Each day of her struggle added layers to Keanu's quiet sorrow, shaping a man who understood grief not from the outside, but from living it intimately. At the same time, his body was also a battlefield. Years of performing high-octane action roles left lasting damage to his spine, knees, and joints. Every jump, every stunt, every fight scene took a toll, yet he never let the pain stop him from doing what he loved. Roles like John Wick demanded relentless physical effort, pushing him into situations that most would avoid. Behind the charismatic smile and composed demeanor was a man enduring constant discomfort. The combination of inner grief and physical suffering created a life where pain lived in his body as intensely as it lived in his heart. Despite these immense challenges, Keanu never complained. He did not allow bitterness to take root. Instead, he embraced silence, letting it become a shield and a teacher. His response to pain was not anger or frustration, but calmness and compassion. People often saw him sitting alone on park benches, seemingly lost in thought. It was not sadness that kept him there, but the need for peace amid chaos. The world could be loud, invasive, and overwhelming, and these quiet moments allowed him to breathe, reflect, and carry on. Even in the face of family tragedy and physical suffering, he chose generosity. He gave to friends, supported causes, and quietly helped those in need, all while his own heart and body carried invisible burdens. His life became a delicate balance between suffering and grace, a lesson in endurance and quiet strength. Keanu Reeves' story shows that true courage is not only in facing the public eye, but in enduring private battles with dignity. Pain shaped him, but it did not break him. Instead, it carved a soul capable of empathy, patience, and remarkable resilience, proving that even amidst relentless hardship, kindness and strength can prevail. Love tragedy, the loss that broke his soul. In the late 1990s, Keanu Reeves experienced something he had never felt before, a love that made life seem possible again. He met Jennifer Syme, and for the first time, he allowed himself to imagine happiness beyond the shadows of his past. Their connection was deep, quiet, and rare a refuge from the constant noise of the world. Together, they dreamed of building a family, imagining laughter filling a home, simple joys, and a future that seemed almost real. For Keanu, who had endured so much pain and loss already, love with Jennifer was like a fragile light in a long, dark tunnel. But fate showed no mercy. Their baby daughter was born stillborn, a moment that shattered both of them completely. The grief was impossible to contain, a heaviness that wrapped around their hearts and refused to let go. Keanu and Jennifer tried to hold on, to move forward, but the weight of their loss was too much. The dreams they had painted together crumbled, leaving silence and sorrow in their place. Every memory of that brief life was a reminder of what could have been, and every day afterward felt haunted by absence. Then, as if tragedy alone was not enough. 2 years later, Jennifer died in a car accident. She was only 28. Keanu lost not just a partner, but the future he had envisioned: the family, the shared joys, the small moments of ordinary happiness. Friends and colleagues noticed a change in him after that. The brightness in his eyes dimmed. He became more distant, less willing to engage with the world in the way he had before. Even when he smiled, there was a quiet ache behind it, a sorrow that lingered in the corners of his face. Grief, relentless and silent, had settled permanently into his soul. This double loss left Keanu's heart a battlefield. Love became inseparable from pain, and joy became a fragile, fleeting thing he feared to grasp. The experience of loving and losing so completely made him cautious in ways the public would never fully understand. It explains why, despite his fame and his ability to touch hearts around the world, he never married and never had children. His scars ran deep. Every choice, every step, was shaped by a fear of repeating the unbearable pain he had already endured. Yet, within this heartbreak lies a strange kind of strength. Keanu learned resilience in a way few ever do. He continued to give, to act, to create, and to live, even while carrying the weight of these immense losses. His life became proof that even the most profound grief does not have to destroy a soul entirely. Instead, it can make a person more compassionate, more reflective, more human. Keanu Reeves's love tragedy is not just a story of loss. It is a testament to survival, to courage, and to the quiet strength of a heart that has known the deepest sorrow, yet continues to walk forward, carrying memories, scars, and the capacity for compassion that can only be born from true pain. Career struggle and lonely success. Keanu Reeves arrived in Los Angeles with a heart full of dreams, but pockets nearly empty, and no one to catch him if he fell. Every audition felt like stepping into a storm, where rejection hit him repeatedly. Casting directors would say he was too soft, too peculiar, not strong enough to fit Hollywood's rigid mold. He heard over and over that he didn't belong in a world that favored loudness over sensitivity. Days and nights blurred together as he moved from one small role to another, often going home to empty apartments and silent rooms. In a city that thrived on glamour and connections, he often felt invisible, a ghost wandering through his own ambitions. Then, slowly, the tides changed. Films like Speed brought him recognition, and The Matrix turned him into an international icon. Suddenly, millions cheered him on, calling him fearless, charismatic, and powerful. The world saw a confident hero running across city streets, dodging bullets, or performing breathtaking stunts. But beneath the dazzling lights, the applause, and the acclaim, Keanu remained painfully aware of what success could not heal. Fame could not erase the shadows of a broken childhood. The hollow silence inside him stayed, whispering memories of loss, grief, and lonely nights. He realized that the world might celebrate his triumphs, but it could never replace a true family, a lasting love, or the simple warmth of companionship. Unlike many of his peers who reveled in luxury, parties, and constant media attention, Keanu chose a life of quiet simplicity. He rode subways, dined in small cafes, and often gave away millions to causes that mattered to him, including cancer research in memory of his sister. He avoided ostentation and focused on walking through life with humility. His apartment and his lifestyle reflected a man deeply aware of the impermanence of fame. He understood that the world could applaud him endlessly, yet applause could never heal a soul that had endured grief after grief. Even at the height of his career, the dichotomy between his public and private life remained striking. On screen, he was a symbol of power, courage, and invincibility. Off-screen, he grappled with quiet loneliness, constantly aware that no amount of fame could fill the void of lost love and family tragedy. This strange mixture of extraordinary success and profound sorrow made him unlike any other star. The world adored Keanu Reeves, yet inside, he was still the quiet, sensitive boy who had faced abandonment, heartbreak, and loss long before cameras ever found him. His career became a testament not just to talent, but to endurance. He rose from obscurity, weathered the harshest judgments, and became one of the most celebrated actors of his generation. Yet, through every red carpet, every blockbuster premiere, and every fan adoration, the silent echoes of his past reminded him that success alone could not mend a soul shaped by pain. Keanu's journey through Hollywood is a story of lonely triumph, a man applauded by millions, yet quietly carrying the weight of a life full of heartbreak, learning to survive and thrive despite it all. Childhood in the shadow of pain. Keanu Reeves entered the world under clouds that seemed too heavy for any child to bear. Born into a family fractured by instability, he never knew a life of calm and security. His father struggled with drugs and violence, casting a shadow that darkened every corner of Keanu's early years. His mother fought tirelessly, often alone, to keep the fragments of their family from completely falling apart. But no matter how hard she tried, young Keanu could sense the fragility that surrounded him. Before he could even understand the meaning of safety, his parents separated and his father disappeared, leaving an emptiness in Keanu's life that no comfort could fill. That absence became a silent companion, one that followed him through every stage of life. School offered no refuge either. Keanu faced dyslexia, a challenge that made every word on a page feel like a mountain to climb. Teachers often failed to understand him, and classmates frequently ridiculed him for being slow or different. In a world that seemed to reward the loud, the clever, and the confident, Keanu felt like an outsider, trapped in quiet observation. While other children laughed, played, and moved forward, he navigated a labyrinth of confusion, loneliness, and self-doubt. Each day, he returned home carrying the weight of rejection and misunderstanding, his small shoulders already learning to bear burdens no child should know. Pain came early, and fear became a constant visitor. At just 13, he witnessed moments no young heart should endure. Though his sister Kim's leukemia diagnosis came later in life, the seeds of grief were planted long before. Keanu watched the fragility of loved ones, the unpredictability of illness, and the fragility of family bonds. He saw fear etched into the faces of those he loved, and he learned that life could break you quietly, without warning. Pain became normal. Loss became familiar. His childhood was a series of shadows, an endless echo of instability, uncertainty, and sorrow. Yet, from this darkness, the first signs of Keanu's extraordinary character emerged. Instead of becoming bitter or angry, he became reflective and quiet. Instead of shouting to be noticed, he listened deeply, attentively, with a sensitivity that would later define him. These years, shaped by hardship and loneliness, planted the seeds of compassion and gentleness. They sculpted a soul capable of immense empathy, a heart attuned to suffering, and a mind resilient in the face of adversity. The shadows of Keanu's childhood never truly left him. They walked with him into adulthood, whispered in the corridors of fame, and lingered even in moments of love and joy. Each scar, each memory of loss, silently shaped the man he was becoming, a man who would carry grief and gentleness in equal measure. And this, tragically, was only the beginning of a life that would be as beautiful as it was heartbreaking. Keanu Reeves's life is proof that tragedy does not have to destroy the soul. From a painful childhood to lost love, from family illness to physical suffering, his journey has been filled with grief and scars. Yet, instead of turning cold, he became warm. Instead of becoming bitter, he became kind. His silence speaks louder than words. His pain created a heart that understands others. At 61, his story is not about fame or money. It is about survival. It is about standing up after every fall. It is about choosing light while walking through darkness. If this story touched your heart, remember that even the strongest people carry invisible wounds. Keanu Reeves teaches us that pain can shape us, but it does not have to break us. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Which part of Keanu's journey moved you the most? Let us know, and stay connected for more powerful stories of courage, loss, and hope.